Hello, everybody, and welcome to the show. Connection issues. Boy, we've got all sorts of problems. That's crazy. But it's not a surprise since we're going to talk about the Epstein list and, our wonderful DOJ that doesn't seem to be able to find the Epstein list. So clearly no Epstein list exists. Honestly, folks, what an insult. What a disappointment for those of us that have been, eager to see Trump come in and clean house. Because if we can't put child rapists in jail, I mean, what else is there, right? If we can't put, rich, powerful people in jail, even when they're raping children, then what are we going to do? This DOJ is an absolute joke. They have done nothing, not a single arrest of anyone of substance since they started. Matt Gaetz is going to come in. He's going to do all these things. They shut Matt Gaetz down. They bring in Bondi. Bondi, who was AG during Epstein's reign of terror in Florida. Bondi, who worked for Pfizer. Bondi, who has really accomplished absolutely nothing. Other than a lot of Fox News appearances. That she seems very good at. She's very good at showing up at Fox News and making up stories. But I mean, this is appalling, folks. It's appalling. How in God's name can you possibly, with a straight face, come out and tell me Epstein committed suicide and there's no Epstein list? He wasn't blackmailing anybody. What? I mean, how many years have we known about the Epstein blackmail ring? You're going to tell me now suddenly, it's the first time anybody's actually reviewed the evidence. And it turns out there's nothing. We were all wrong. Every government official that's talked about the Epstein list for the last, 10 years was wrong. There's really no blackmail ring. There's nothing like that going on. I mean, this is absurd. It's absurd. Where's Pam Bondi's truckload of data? Her truckload. She's got truckloads of data. Just waiting to go through it. But there's no list and there's nothing in that data. It's all meaningless, right? Honestly, folks, this is insane. It looks to me, you know what you're going to get? I think you'll get a few arrests of people who don't matter. I think you'll get a few arrests of people who, they can make a big headline out of because in 2016 they did something with Russia collusion. 10 years ago, right? They no longer have power. They no longer have anything. But 10 years ago, they did something that, whatever. Listen, this is absurd and great. I mean, they probably still belong in jail. If you were involved in the Russia collusion hoax, you belong in jail. But at the end of the day, it's not going to change anything. No one that's doing anything right now that's causing problems right now, nobody's getting touched. They're literally doing nothing with anyone who is of any sort of real substance right now. I mean, this whole thing is just an absolute joke. It is an absolute joke. And I got to be honest with you. I couldn't be more nauseated by this whole thing. Trump, Trump is the boss. He loved the whole "you're fired" thing. Is that ever going to happen here? I mean, we're just going to stick with Bondi, no matter how little she does, no matter how much she accomplishes, no matter how bad the DOJ messes up everything, makes you look like a fool. We're just going to stick with it, right? I don't know, folks. This is not what I voted for. I did not vote for this. I did not vote for no change. I did not vote for no accountability. I did not vote for any of this. And, this is why we have to keep pressure on the administration. The deep state is firmly in control. And it looks like they've even co-opted Bongino and Patel. Bongino and Patel are out there with this. I mean, because apparently no one could ever modify an empty prison hallway video, right? With a new timestamp on a date. And by the way, there's rumors now, but they haven't been confirmed, that there is a period of time that was missing in that video that they released. I guess we'll dig into that a little bit more, but just mind-blowingly corrupt. This whole thing makes me sick. We're going to have a lot on this. Before we do, please support us. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. We need your help, need your support. Anything you can give us, we'd be happy to take whatever you can. But $20 a month, become a monthly supporter. The more you give, the better. The better it is for us, better for our fight, better for everything. So do whatever you can. Please support us. GiveSendGo.com/Renslaw. Also, don't forget, we need your help. Go to tomrenz.com, www.tomrenz.com. Check out our shop, shop of partners and affiliates. All these guys are good. Block Trust IRA, Dulce Sweetener. We love Dulce. Scroll down today. Want to highlight one of my favorite partners that I was introduced to also by Dr. Sherry Tenpenny is Cardio Miracle. There they are. Cardio Miracle. Wonderful, wonderful product. Great for your heart, great for your overall health. It does a lot of great things for you. Make sure you're supporting Cardio Miracle and get the big discount by shopping on tomrenz.com and using our link. All right. Let's talk about this Epstein nonsense, right? And let's just start out right here because I think Elon Musk got it right. Here we've got the one and only Elon Musk, who is starting an America party, which of course has a lot of people pretty fussy, and I get that. But he really captured this. We will release the Epstein list. We just need more time. The Epstein list is on my desk. There is no Epstein list. That's pretty much what we've gotten here, right? Here's my question. Was Pam Bondi lying when she was talking about the list and all the things she was going to do? Or is she lying now? When did the lie happen, right? When did the lie? Because obviously the lie occurred. It's quite clear that, she's now obviously contradicting herself on a profound level. So was she lying before or was she lying now? Where was the lie? That's a real question, right? Now, when we look at the Twitter and we see, Epstein is, of course, trending, and we look at that, this comes up right away, Epstein list, Department of Justice, FBI denied that there was suicide and denied that there was a client list used for blackmail. Now, here's the thing. Client list used for blackmail is different from whether there was a client list. And the client list, whether or not they can prove it was used for blackmail, is pretty important because these are people who are accused of raping children. Don't you think that maybe we should go after the people who were raping children? Anybody? By the way, here's the Epstein pedophile arrest counter, which Musk also posted. And I agree I think this number seems accurate. I didn't do all the math. There's a lot of math here, folks. I'm a lawyer, not very good at math, or I would, but clearly I have to double check that math there. But yeah, there's been nothing, not one thing with this. So Daily Wire talks about this. Justice Department released video from the prison, and that video from the prison, 11 hours or 11-hour video, purportedly showing, outside of Epstein's cell, saying that there's nothing there. Also saying there's no incriminating client list. So Epstein, let's talk about this, right? So Jeffrey Epstein has every camera in every room of his house, or every room in his house wired with cameras, wired with monitoring, wired with this, wired with that. Has video of everything, profound amounts of video, terabytes, gigabytes, whatever, just massive amounts of video. He videoed everything, including his sex parties, that purportedly included rich, wealthy people having sex with children. There's tons of testimony. Virginia Giuffre, who is no longer with us, all of these former victims who've talked about, the rape parties and everything else. There's video of all of this. Now, unless we believe that every one of these victims was lying, unless we believe that everything we've heard up till now is lying, this seems a bit like a stretch to me. The whole thing seems a bit of a stretch. It's interesting because, they put out this raw or enhanced version of this footage, right? And they quote, anyone entering or attempting to enter the tier where Epstein's cell was located would have been captured by this footage. And it says locked from a certain time till a certain time, and nobody entered. Now, there's a couple problems, right? Reportedly, and I haven't confirmed this yet, but reportedly there is a short period of time, like about a minute or 30 seconds, that has disappeared from this footage. Now, I can't confirm that yet. It's rumored at this point, but that's interesting, right? The other thing is let's say that this is accurate. let's say that this is footage from outside his cell. Would it be all that hard to change the date and timestamp on that? Answer is no. That's an AI project that could be done pretty easily. This video is meaningless. It's absolutely meaningless. Whether it's original or not, it's meaningless. The idea that Bondi and Patel and Bongino are so stupid that they don't know that could be modified, that the date and timestamps could be modified. I mean, it's incredulous. It does not even make, it's just not even sort of credible. There is no way these guys are that stupid. They're out here telling, oh, there's no evidence. Now listen, this is one of the biggest deals on the planet. If there's ever been something that people are going to whitewash or do, and by the way, why did SDNY take so long to send this data over? You think they weren't deleting things or erasing things or moving things? And by the way, where's the investigation of SDNY? The FBI, SDNY. There's no investigation. No one's looking into anything. This is just like the Diddy case. It's a whitewash. It's not like it might be a whitewash. It is an egregious whitewash. You've got, and according to this article, quote, after a thorough investigation, FBI investigators concluded Epstein committed suicide in his cell at the Metropolitan Correctional Center in New York City on August 10th, 2019. This conclusion is consistent with previous findings, including August 19th autopsy finding of the New York Office of Chief Medical Examiner, the November 19th position of the U.S. Attorney's Office for the Southern District of New York, which is we now know as a corrupt entity, in connection with the investigation of federal correctional officers, et cetera, right? So everything they cite is corrupt. Everything. There is not a single thing that they cite that I trust. Not one. Not one. There are holes in everything, and they're apparent holes. They're big holes. You know, this is like Diddy. You got a guy who you got more evidence on, you know what to do with. They're just not looking at the right stuff or charging the right stuff because they don't want to. Children were raped. Children. I don't know how else to say that. How are we okay with this? How can Bongino and Patel live with themselves? How can Bondi live with herself? What are they getting out of this? What was the threat? What was the benefit? What happened? I mean, this is not even sort of credible. It's not even sort of credible. Let's look over here. This is Twitter. If you search Epstein, you got Alec Jones. DOJ is running cover of the CIA and Mossad. No one is buying this. I agree. Then you scroll down a little bit, and here you have her. The one and only Fox News herself, Pam Bondi. Let's hear what Pam has to say. Wait. How could she review something that was sitting on her desk that doesn't exist? How could this? Hold on, let's hear this. Now remember, right here, the Epstein list doesn't exist, right? But here,
okay. Tom sound. It said I lost by not working.
Oh, we got a problem. I thought you guys were hearing this, and you are not. A bit of a sound issue there. Okay, so let's go back. This is Pam Bondi, and let me show you what she's saying.
The DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump. I'm reviewing that. I'm reviewing JFK files, MLK files. That's all in the process of being reviewed because that was done at the directive of the president from all of these agencies.
So have you seen anything that you said, oh my gosh?
Not yet.
The DOJ.
Okay, so here she is confirming that there's a client list and that she's reviewing it. Folks, is there a client list? Is there not a client list? When did she lie? Is she lying now? Is she lying before? When did she lie? The thing is she's lying. She's a liar. She's an absolute liar. All she cares about is Fox News and nonsense. I mean, this woman is not doing her job. She's untrustworthy. I don't care whether she lied then or lied now. She's a liar. And when do you trust a liar? Pam Bondi, let's hear it again. Now, let's go back here. Let's go back. This is from the transparency, large images. There no incriminating client list, right? This is from the DOJ. No incriminating client list, according to the DOJ. Now, is that true or is this true?
DOJ may be releasing the list of Jeffrey Epstein's clients. Will that really happen?
It's sitting on my desk right now to review. That's been a directive by President Trump.
Okay. Which one was true? Which one was true? And when do you trust a liar? Right? When do you trust a liar? So let's go to not one single person who paid to rape children on Epstein's Island has been arrested. That's true. That seems true, doesn't it? Mommy, why won't politicians demand the release of the full Epstein client list? Because they are the clients, my dear. Yes. What is this? What is this? Anybody? Anybody? I mean, this is appalling. This is an absolute insult to our intelligence. Folks, we voted for Trump for accountability. We want accountability. This is not accountability. This is an obscene joke. We are letting child rapists get away with child rape. Why? Well, because they're rich and connected. Clients are too rich and connected. Pam Bondi was the AG in Florida during the time that Epstein had his reign of terror going on in Palm Beach, right? Now, we've interviewed and we've talked. Maha Mike went to high school with high school girls who were being recruited for Epstein sex parties. First of all, let me point this out. Even if you can't prove that a single one of Epstein's clients paid $1 for sex with children, there is video evidence of a whole parade of people coming in and having sex with children there from what the DOJ has said. Unless the DOJ, I mean, even now the DOJ is saying we can't release it. It's all pedophilia videos. Good, don't release it. Just tell us who was in them and who you're going to charge with pedophilia. I want to know what pedophile is going to be charged. Okay, fine, you can't release the videos. Okay, there is no written list. Great. Who was in the videos? Are they being charged? And guess what? If Epstein and his crew were organizing sex parties with children, well, that's a RICO crime. So his whole crew belongs in jail. The whole crew. And you got all those videos of rich, famous, connected, powerful people raping children. What are you doing with those? Are those people going to be prosecuted? Or are you going to let Prince Andrew off, assuming that's true? Huh? I mean, this is insane. It is an absolute insult. I've been asking the question over and over again. I keep asking the question on X. I keep saying, "Hey, what's going on here?" Right? My profile. I'm pissed about this, folks. This is awful to me. We're gonna let child rapists off. So there's us. You should share. But here, do you really need a written client list if you have a truckload of data and video chronicling who is raping children, or is a truckload of data? Which thing is a lie? Right? This is it. Epstein files, all this stuff sitting on her desk, right? She said it right here. She received all this data from Epstein. What's she doing with it, folks? What's she doing with it? I mean, are we to assume that the only person that was in any of these videos was Jeffrey Epstein? Is that what they want us to believe now? You tell me who was in the video on the truckloads of data. Now you got Patel, Bongino, and these guys are literally selling out to child rapists. Now, wait a second. Why is it that this statement from the Justice Department talked about lifting the veil and disgusting actions of Epstein and his co-conspirators? What conspiracy was there? If there was no child rape, If there was nothing going on, what conspiracy are they referring to? The number of references to what's going on is absolutely insane, right? Here's a story from The Hill. Let me remind you of this. This is from 2/21/20, so February 21st, right? So Bondi comes in. The Epstein client list is sitting on my desk. You know, the list that she said doesn't exist. So according to Bondi and according to this interview, she's got the list. She's got all this stuff. She hasn't seen any major revelations, and that was that clip. But you know, she's got the list. It's sitting on my desk right now to review, right? So, you know, Epstein, I mean, everybody knows what Epstein was. Everybody knows what this, I mean, this is just common knowledge. It's not like it was a secret. I mean, everybody just knew it and turned a blind eye, right? I mean, Bondi's been talking about this. Patel's been talking about this. Bongino's been talking about this. Everybody knows what's going on here. Everyone. But no one will say anything. No one will speak up. No one will do anything. At the end of the day, the real question we have to ask ourselves is who's running the show? Now, for all you 5D chess guys, how is Trump running the show if he can't even get a child rapist put in jail? How is he in charge? Would you be okay? What if the Trump administration is blackmailing these guys just like the Biden administration? Only they're trying to do it for good. I'm not okay with that. I want justice. I want transparency. I want the people who rape children in jail. I want them tried publicly. You know, I love that we've got Bongino and Patel out there talking about, oh, we just broke another pedophile ring and down in Texas. Yeah, sure. You guys are great at breaking pedophile rings for blue collar nobodies. But the rich and elite, they get off. None of the rich or elite. Have we investigated George Soros for the chaos that he's sown all over the country? Where's that at? How about Bill Gates for his vaccine stuff? Have we investigated that? No, the rich and powerful, they get to do whatever they want. And that's holding true under the Trump administration. And I'm sorry, but Donald Trump is the boss, and you can't miss this. Don't tell me Trump didn't know what they were going to say. And if he's so blind that he actually believes this, then we got a problem, right? We got a real problem. If the president actually thinks that this is legit, either he's full of crap or he's stupid. I don't believe this for a second. No way Trump, as smart and as shrewd as he is, believes this. So what's he going to do? Is he going to let these child rapists off? Why is he doing this? You can tell me this is 5D chess. Okay, you tell me. I want someone to tell me. How is it acceptable? What possible justification could there be for not prosecuting a child rapist? I want to know what explanation you have, what justification you have, what would make it okay to not prosecute a child rapist? I've got none. I've got none. And if you're rich and powerful, all the more reason to go after you, because you should know better, right? You should know better anyway. Listen, this is just sick beyond words. So, you know, Bondi's out there. I mean, we've got lie after lie after lie from her, but she's always got time for Fox News. Now, let's talk about a few different things here. So Pam Bondi, she had that Fox News interview talking about it sitting on her desk, right? The Epstein client list. Now, on February 25th, she was back on Fox News because she can't stay off of Fox News. I mean, this woman just can't get enough of Fox News. She is the queen of Fox News. I mean, she doesn't do anything as an AG, but she's one hell of a Fox News correspondent. She said on the 25th in another Fox News thing that the files related to the investigation of Jeffrey Epstein are sitting on her desk. She mentioned processing these files, but she didn't specifically talk about the client list, but she'd already done that on the 21st. So I guess she didn't need to reiterate, right? But you don't need a client list, right? You don't need a client list. If you've got thousands and thousands of hours of video and terabytes or gigabytes or whatever of data, I don't need a list. You can pull the names of the guys raping kids on the videos off of the videos, right? You make your own list. It doesn't matter whether they paid for it or not. It's still sex with kids. It's illegal. And it's immoral and it's disgusting. It's sex with children. But we're not going to do anything. We're not going to go after those guys because those guys, they're too rich and too powerful. I mean, they're too rich and too powerful. We don't want to, folks. Virginia Giuffre outright said Prince Andrew was doing this stuff. No one's going to investigate that. No one's going to look into that. Nothing, right? I mean, we wouldn't have any sort of international tensions. We certainly wouldn't want any of that, right? That's not acceptable. We're going to let international people, the international diplomat, if they want to rape a child, well, we don't want to cause any troubles, right? That's where we're at. Go ahead, rape the kids. It's okay. We don't want to cause any disruption. February 27th, Bondi claims she had been informed that thousands of pages of documents related to the investigation indictment of Epstein that were not previously disclosed were in the Epstein files, and full, complete file, including videos. They were all there, right? So, I mean, don't forget, we released the folder full of nothing, right? We got the folder full of nothing, but they got thousands of pages. March of 2025, Bondi's out there, thousands of pages of documents, right? That the FBI is sifting through. Now, documents are interesting because I understand you can't release video, but boy, you could release documents, couldn't you? Let's see the documents. How about those thousands and thousands of pages of documents? Can you release those? How about releasing those in an unredacted sense? Don't tell me that it's about protecting the victims. The victims want the bad guys that raped them to go to jail. I'm pretty sure the victims would be real happy to have this stuff released if it put bad guys in jail. But they said, well, we got to protect the. No, this is a lie. Bondi has talked extensively about the client list and all the data she's going to release. Where is it? Instead, we get a little blurb. Oh no, we're not going to tell you anything. Nothing to see here. Please disperse. Nothing to see here. Right? That's what you get. That's transparency, folks. Now, I'd remind you, Jeffrey Berman, U.S. Attorney for the Southern District of New York, quote, our investigation of the conduct in the indictment, which include conspiracy count, remains ongoing, and we will pursue justice for the victim of Jeffrey Epstein and his co-conspirators, right? This is, I think, let's see, when is this? I think this is back in 2019 this came out. What co-conspirators? If this was just a one-off thing, what was it? What is this? Tell me about the co-conspirators. Where are they? All right, Jamie. Critical thinkers can see what's happening. Jamaica May. 100%. 100%. And this is also true. They're all in to destroy Trump's credibility at the mega base, and they are doing it. And Trump is letting them do it. Folks, we all love, if you're on watching the show, we all love Trump, right? But let me ask you this. How is this good for Trump? How is this anything but a disaster? How is this anything but a debacle? This is a nightmare. Trump looks like a fool. His DOJ has done nothing. Everybody can see his DOJ is not arresting anybody. Nobody important is going to jail. Nothing critical is happening. They are doing nothing. They're accomplishing nothing of substance. Oh, we got violent offenders off the street. Great. How about the people that are paying the violent offenders? How many about the people that are facilitating the violent offenders? How about the people who are actually causing the problems? Right? They don't look at that. Oh, we found some gangbanger who keyed a Tesla. We're going to throw the book at him. That's what we get. That's all that we get. The whole thing is absurd and obscene and repulsive. So, what we're seeing on a consistent basis is a complete abdication of the duty of everybody at the DOJ. They just aren't doing a damn thing. They are not doing a damn thing. They for whatever reason, have decided. Now, let me give you another quote. right? This is an important one. This is Alexander Acosta, and he's a former U.S. attorney for the Southern District of Florida. He says, quote, "I was told Epstein belonged to intelligence and to leave it alone." That's kind of an important thing, right? Kind of an important thing. You think that the CIA would ever whitewash anything or try and cover anything up? Yeah. Why does everybody know what this is about except for our federal government? Why is it that all of us know what's happening except the federal government? How is this a thing? How is it that our federal government is so incompetent and so inept and so just absolutely absurd? Let me bring this up. This is a great comment. The Epstein list is a deal breaker. Thanks, James. If Trump doesn't release them, it means we're all being played. Time for a government reset. So it is of the people, for the people, by the people. I agree with you. I mean, listen, if Trump can't take a stand for child rapists, I'm disappointed in Trump. If he's going to say that this is real, or if he's going to stand behind this, I think what that really means is we can count on the fact that no real action is going to happen. Nothing real is going to come out of this DOJ. At this point, if you can't put people who rape children in jail, I have no faith that you're going to do anything real on anyone else. I just don't. And that's what we're seeing. No one is putting these people in jail. The people who rape children are not being put in jail. They're not being persecuted. They're not being prosecuted. Let me show you this, folks. Let me show you. I got a couple of videos here. This is our Deputy FBI Director, Dan Bongino, who is just giving us the straight truth no matter what. Let's hear it, Dan. Tell us the straight truth.
Listen, that Jeffrey Epstein story is a big deal. Please do not let that story go.
This is Bongino in 2023, by the way. Over here, you have Bongino in 2025.
Keep your eye on this. Catherine Rumler, we need to keep the heat on this case, folks. There are a lot of people who are knee deep in the Washington swamp who are not telling you the truth about serious allegations out there that Epstein may have had video and audio of people out there doing things they shouldn't have been doing. And you should be asking yourself the question, how is it that all these people, the CIA director, the Obama fixer, Bill Clinton, all intersected paths with Jeffrey Epstein? Jeffrey Epstein isn't with us anymore, and nobody seems to want to talk about it.
That's a pretty good question. I think that's a great question, Dan Bongino. I think it's a brilliant question. I think that it's something that we ought to do, and we need to keep the heat on, right?
Outside of a few entrepreneurial media outlets saying, hey, this is a big deal.
He killed himself. You want me to I've seen the whole file. He killed himself.
Now, if I didn't know better, I would say Bongino just switched his story. I thought we were supposed to ask questions. I thought we were supposed to, kind of push this. No, that is not what we got there, right? That is not what we got. So anyway, this is outright corruption. This is outright corruption. Bongino sold out. I don't know what else to say about it. I mean, there's this guy. Literally, they're trying to tell me that this guy killed himself, right? Let's look at Cash. How about Cash? Because Cash would never sell out, would he? I mean, I can't imagine a scenario where Cash Patel would sell out. And so this is Cash in 2023. This is Cash in 2025. And let's take a look and see whether Cash's story has remained as consistent as we would all hope that it is. Let's see here.
Why is the FBI protecting the greatest pederast, the largest scale pederast in human history?
Simple, because of who's on that list. You don't think that Bill Gates is lobbying Congress night and day to prevent the disclosure of that list? And why is it that the Senate, and good for Senator Blackburn to try to get it out, but then Dick Durbin comes over the top and says, no, we're not going to release the names. I don't care about the list itself.
Technical issue,
names, right?
And I've said it, Dan Bongino said it, we've reviewed all the information, and the American public is going to get as much as we can release. He killed himself. Do you think, let's play out the logical conclusion of this.
Oh, let's play it
Do you
out.
think that myself, Bongino, and others would participate in hiding information about Epstein's grotesque activities? Or do you think we would also participate in not prosecuting people we had evidence to prosecute people on? Where's the videotape of an Epstein Island of X, Y, and Z committing these frauds? Why haven't you given it?
Well,
to
you
us? Do
supposedly
really think I
have the
wouldn't give that to you?
videotapes. I thought Pam Bondi said that you had
Why
a whole
is the
bunch of
FBI
videos. I thought Pam Bondi said that you have all sorts of videos, Cash. Where are they? Where are those videos? Does this? Are you guys seeing what's happening here? This is insane. This is insane, folks. Now, I want to bring this up. I want to pull this up, right? This is really important. DOJ has been caught cutting a full 60 seconds from the newly released Epstein surveillance. Viewers tracking the video noticed a clean jump. The footage cuts off at 11:59 and resumes at 12, with an entire minute missing. No explanation has been given for the gap. All right, let's look here. You can see here 11:58, 54, 55, 56. And here it is. And then it jumps to wait. How did that happen? Here it is. Watch. Now 1 minute. How long does it take to walk into a prison cell and snap somebody's neck? How long does that take? It doesn't take long, folks. So yours truly, I started martial arts many years ago when I was a kid. I've remained active in my training. I don't go to a dojo anymore. I'm old. But I'm still active and I still train. And I've studied and I've learned about fighting most of my life. And I'm going to tell you something. It takes about 5 pounds of pressure to break an average human bone, and to break someone's neck, it takes almost nothing. It really doesn't. You grab, snap, gone, right? Now, the coroner, said that there's nothing to see there, but the independent forensic pathologist that looked at what happened says there's all sorts of things that are inconsistent with a hanging death, right? All sorts of things. Now, whether it was a trauma death or what it was, listen, 1 minute is plenty of time to break someone's neck, to kill them, to do whatever you got to do there. What exactly happened to him? I don't know, but it sure as hell doesn't look like he hung himself with a paper sheet in a room that had nothing to hang yourself from, right? That is a load of crap. We have this video of missing time. Is 1 minute long enough to kill someone? Walk in, kill them, get out? Absolutely it is. It doesn't take but a second or two to do that. If someone wanted to walk in there and kill him, I mean, there's no time at all. Yes, you can killing. In fact, I'll tell you one of the things that I used to also teach some self-defense stuff. If you're talking about self-defense, you know that most real fights last, they only last seconds. They only last seconds. If you get into a street fight, it's going to be over in seconds. It doesn't take a full minute. Why? Because if you bare knuckle someone hard enough in the head, it's the end of the fight. It usually only takes a few seconds. Most fights over real quick. To kill someone real quick. It could be done very quickly. So the idea that there is a full minute missing here, that's a pretty big deal. But I guess Bongino and Patel, they didn't notice that, right? They just missed it. They overlooked that in their extensive investigation. Now, why is this minute missing? Why is it missing? And by the way, did you notice this? Look at this. See the timestamp down there? You think that you couldn't fake that? What, that's something that's too advanced, right? Our AI couldn't fake that. They couldn't put a fake timestamp on it. I mean, that would be way beyond the CIA or anyone else's ability to fake. This is just absolute garbage. This is a cover-up. It's a whitewash, just like Diddy. You notice they're doing them both at the same time, right? They're just trying to get it all done. They're trying to get through this PR. They're gonna try and blow it up and move on. There'll be another big story that'll hit next week. so that they can try and move on from. Maybe even later this week there'll be something huge happen, a protest or new law, or Trump does this or someone does that to try and move on from this. We cannot let this go until such time as the truth is brought out. This is foundational. Our elected officials are almost certainly being blackmailed. It's a national security issue, and it's just wrong. It's child rape, right? So we can't let this one go. We're going to have to keep fighting on this. And honestly, this is just repulsive to me. This is here. Another great comment. I'm going to bring this up. So Bongino and Patel changed their personalities overnight. When Rogan says to Patel, what about the sleeping prison guards and the missing film footage during the so-called Epstein suicide? Patel asks, where do you hear that? Looking thoroughly and genuinely confused. But this could have nothing to do with thought manipulation. It's not like it goes. This comment goes on. But the point being, everything about this looks like a lie. Everything. I don't know what's going on. I don't know. I don't know. Folks, I just know that I have no trust. This breaks my trust in Bongino and Patel on a pretty profound scale. If they're either stupid enough to believe this or willing to sell out in either event, these are children. Everybody knows what Epstein did with kids. Everybody know he wasn't the only one that did it. And the fact that they're letting all of this get whitewashed, the fact that they let the Diddy stuff get whitewashed, and folks, this is all coming from Bondi, I think. I mean, it's coming from the top. That doesn't excuse Patel and Bongino in any way, shape, or form. But it's the reality is that Bondi, she allowed the Diddy trial to be thrown, and we're seeing the same whitewash with the Epstein stuff. The question is, who's telling her what to do, right? Who's telling her? Because someone is telling her what she can and can't do, because she changed her tune on this dramatically. And I don't believe for a second that this was based on evidence or anything else. This was a whitewash to me. It looks like a whitewash to me. And the real question is, who's pulling the strings? All right. Headline: surgeon who exposed Brigitte Macron's transgender past found dead after falling from a building. Brigitte Macron, let's talk about this. This is kind of useful, right? So this is Brigitte Macron, who everybody thinks is a dude. Everybody. I mean, she looks like a dude. She doesn't look like a she. She looks like a dude. I mean, very manly. I think she's even the dude in the relationship, because Emmanuel Macron, you saw him get kind of bi itch slapped the other day by her on the plane. I don't know. He's clearly not a man anywhere. But Dr. Francois Fabre, all these French people, I don't know. A Parisian surgeon confirmed to investigators that Brigitte Macron underwent gender-affirming surgery in the American hospital in Paris. Well, he just happened to be found dead on June 29th after what authorities described as a terrible fall from fourth floor window in some place in Paris, right? He just fell out the window. And I mean, that happens all the time, folks. Think of how many times you've fallen out your windows. I mean, you're just walking around, you say, oh, I need to look out the window. And next thing you know, you fall to your death. I mean, this happens constantly. If I had a dime for every time that's happened. But the Paris medical examiners, they ruled it was a suicide. He definitely committed suicide. There's no note that was made public, and there's no signs of fault. But he definitely committed suicide. Now the family says that he had no signs of being suicidal, and had an upcoming vacation planned to Miami, Florida. Seems like a happy, well-adjusted guy. But he was a happy, well-adjusted guy who just happened to, after informing everybody about Macron being a tranny, he happened to jump out the window. He had a low public profile. Did an interview. He shared evidence on Macron having formerly had a wiener, and then he seemed to find his way to the window and jump out. Now, the French authorities say there's nothing to see here, folks. Just like there's nothing to see with the Epstein list. Clearly, the conspiracy theorists have gone rampant everywhere. There's nothing to see anywhere, nothing happening. But according to multiple independent journalists, Macron has personally ordered French intelligence services to surveil, interrogate, and intimidate anyone who's digging into his wife's wiener. Yeah, we don't want to talk about Brigitte's wiener, or French intel will interrogate you. So there was a 3-year investigation by a group of French journalists, and they collaborated with a whole bunch of people, and they ended up publishing this, caused all sorts of a poo storm. And this expose, it's very detailed, lays out that Brigitte Macron was born as Jean-Michel Trojanau and transitioned in adulthood, but before she became, rose to prominence, right? So born a dude, had the wiener removal surgery, then, kind of rose to prominence through whatever. But Natasha Ray led this investigation. She got harassed, and authorities were starting to push her and trying to push her around, and this, that, and other, tried to get her to recant her work, and she said no, and she went public with it, right? Hey, these guys are trying to intimidate me, and that's a good thing. I mean, that's awesome that she did that. I'm glad she did that because, someone needs to go public with something. I mean, this is sick. This is the way this is happening. But another journalist working for a lefty publication comes out, and they're going to try and debunk this story about Macron's wife having a wiener, right? And this other journalist was working for Le Nouvel Observateur, and he says she went out to try and dig in this and to disprove it, and in her own words says, quote, "Unfortunately, the facts were verifiable and undeniable," and she said there's unquestionable. So this is verified by another left-wing journalist that Macron's wife had a wiener. And she also said she got hit by intel officers, right? French intelligence. Now, the report claims that there are no official birth records for Brigitte Trognal, or however you say her name, prior to adulthood. But instead, there are birth records for Jean-Michel Trognal, who is same parents, same place, same time, right? So everything points to the fact that Macron's wife had a wiener at some point. Whether or not she still has a wiener, I don't know. Story is she went and got the wiener removal surgery. But isn't it interesting that Macron's wife likely has a wiener? He's got the intel services out pushing anybody that says she has a wiener. Some surgeon comes out and confirms she had a wiener. And then the surgeon just happens to jump out of he's a happy, well-adjusted guy getting ready for vacation, jumps out a window. I'm not saying there's anything shady going on here, but I wonder if French intelligence services are going to show up at my house and ask me about Macron's wiener. I would love that'd be a fun conversation. Monsieur Rems, have you been reporting on Emmanuel Macron's wife's wiener? Yes, I have. Why do you report on that? Well, because she looks like she's got a wiener. I'm just trying to think of how how does that conversation go? You're going to have to quit reporting on Macron's wife's wiener. Okay. I don't know. France is special. I don't know. Macron and his wife's wiener. I think that's special. All right. Moving on. The tragedy in Texas is, and this is awful. You've got the cloud seeding and all the geoengineering, and there's a legitimate question whether or not that played a role in these tragic floods and that killed these kids and killed everybody. And I mean, what a tragedy, folks. What a sad, 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 tragic thing. Can you imagine? I mean, all those kids that are dying, and we've got to ask, right? Because it's always, I mean, there's the lithium battery plant or lithium battery or issue or something related to lithium batteries down there in Texas in that area. Had the same thing in North Carolina. I mean, you got land grabs, Pacific Palisades, Maui. It's like, keep having these random, kind of crazy events occurring where just in these random spots where there's either a reason to grab land or, a desire to push a 15-minute city, or there's always something fishy about it, right? And we know because of Operation Popeye, which was a military operation where they, created torrential downpours during Vietnam to try and, to have an impact on the war. It worked, right? I've reported on this. I've talked about it. Operation Popeye was considered a wild success by the military. And so we know that you can create these flash floods. You can do this. It's technologically a feasible thing. Isn't it sad that we're at a point now where we have to ask whether our government or some, crooked, government hire was involved with or related to, the geoengineering actions that may have killed these kids in Texas? Of course it is. Meanwhile, the loving left has reared its head. The loving left. Here you have a beautiful, wonderful left-wing pediatrician, right? 82 dead, 28 kids. This wonderful medical professional is out there, and let's see, what's her name? Her name is escaping me. But she says, here, you can see it down here. You can see where she's, may all visitors, children, non-MAGA voters, and pets be safe and dry. Kerr County MAGA voted to gut FEMA. They deny climate change. May they get what they voted for, bless their hearts. So this kind and loving pediatrician who clearly loves kids is posting about how, Kerr County MAGA, if those kids have, they deserve death, is what this sweetheart lady says. I mean, folks, this is insane. These people are unhinged. They're insane. I mean, it's repulsive. So this is Dr. Christina Probst of Bluefish Pediatrics in Houston, Texas. Now, the story is that this sick monster was fired, and that's good. Would you want someone who's okay with mega kids dying? Would you want them to be your pediatrician? I mean, Dr. Christina Probst is not someone who I would want taking care of my children, just saying. In fact, I don't think I'd want her near anyone in my family. I'm relatively sure I wouldn't even want her near someone who I dislikes children. But yeah, she's out here. She's okay with as long as you're MAGA, she's okay with you being dead or your kids being dead. That seems like a good thing for her. Now let's look also at another wonderful, wonderful leftist. This sweet and loving woman has posted a TikTok video. Let's see, what is her name? Sadie Perkins, who was appointed by Democrat Mayor Sylvester Turner to some sort of a local government something apparently back in the day. Sadie Perkins, she posts this love-filled rant that is clearly shows her compassion. There we go.
I know I'm probably going to get canceled for this.
Good.
But Camp Mystic is a whites-only girls' Christian camp. They don't even have a token Asian. They don't have a token black person. It is a all-white, white-only, conservative Christian camp. If you ain't white, you ain't right, you ain't getting in, you ain't going.
By the way, the camp does not is legally they aren't white only. That's just nonsense. I mean, I don't know why or how many people of color go to that camp, but I mean that's just outright. I'm sure that the camp could probably file a lawsuit over this. I mean, right now they're worried about kids being dead and things like that, but this is sick. This is absolutely sick.
Period. And I think that context needs to be said in this
We need to
matter.
race bait this.
It's not to say that we don't want the girls to be found, whatever girls that are missing or whatever right now, but you best believe, especially in today's political climate, if this were a group of Hispanic girls, especially with them being in East Texas, it should be most likely Hispanic. If this were a group of Hispanic girls out there, this would not be getting this type of coverage that they're getting. No one would give a fuck. And all these white people, the parents of these little girls, would be saying things like they need to be deported, they shouldn't have been here in the first place, and yada, yada, yada.
I'm pretty sure that I didn't know or care what color the kids were that were drowning. I'm pretty sure I was praying for their families regardless. Never even entered my head what they looked like.
Before y'all come at me, before y'all start leaving hate comments on my page about, oh, these are just kids and they don't know no better, the parents of these children who are choosing, and it is a choice in 2025, it is definitely a freaking choice to go into East goddamn Texas and to make a all-white enclave.
That's what they were doing.
Exclusionary, just for white people, with all the black.
That's definitely what they were doing. I mean, it was definitely exclusionary. I mean, I'm sure, because it's not illegal to be to discriminate on race, right?
White people in East Texas, with all the Hispanic people in East Texas, somehow, some way, you have carved out an all-white, whites-only enclave in East Texas for your white children.
Yeah.
Yeah, I have a problem with that. I have a big problem with that. Once again, this is no shade to the girls. I hope they all get found. But once again, y'all have to understand the climate that we're living in. They want you to have sympathy for these people. They want you to get out of your bed and to come out of your home and to go find these
for
people.
Anybody whose child dies.
Donate your money to go find these people. Meanwhile, they are deporting your family members.
Oh, is that what they're doing?
Meanwhile, they're setting up concentration camps and prisons for your family members. And I need y'all to keep that in mind before y'all get out there and put on your rain boots and go find these little girls.
Before you go out and find these little girls, you should know that Sadie Perkins thinks that the camp is racist. And so don't worry about the little girls. Let Sadie Perkins, who was a former appointee of the Houston Food Insecurity Board, let everybody know that that Sadie Perkins thinks this is racist. So let the kids die. Don't worry about the kids. Sadie Perkins thinks it's racist. Folks, the left is sick. They're unhinged. This is why we aren't getting any action on the Epstein list, because there's people like.
Did you see the comment from Jennifer? My favorite.
No, I did not.
Look at what Jennifer just said.
What did Jennifer say? Oh, our friend Jennifer. Yeah, the rain was racist. We didn't consider that. I guess the rain was racist. This whole thing is just, it's obscene, folks. It's really, I mean, I'm sick by the whole thing. All right, folks, I love you. I appreciate you. I'm sorry, today is a bummer of a show. So many bad things to talk about. But the left is just unhinged. And, we're going to have to find a way to hold the Trump administration's feet to the fire on getting some accountability, because clearly they ain't going to do it unless we, the people, get moving. So we're going to have more on that coming up. Thank you guys for listening. We will be back tomorrow.